Welcome to the Way of Shaolin. Today we explore the profound wisdom of Yanjun, who has dedicated 35 years to mastering and teaching Kung Fu at the Shaolin Temple. His teachings transcend mere physical training, offering a path to harmony between body and mind. The ancient wisdom of Shaolin monks has guided seekers for centuries. But what makes these teachings so powerful? How can they transform not just your body, but your entire approach to life? Join us as we explore the 12 essential teachings that form the foundation of Master Yanjun's philosophy, principles that have transformed thousands of students worldwide. The first teaching of Master Yanjun is that breath forms the sacred bridge between body and mind. When you control your breath, you control your life force. When you master your life force, you master yourself. Most people breathe only at 30% of their capacity, using just the upper portion of their lungs. But what happens when you unlock your full breathing potential? Master Shi teaches the four-part breath, inhaling deeply to fill first the lower abdomen, then middle chest, then upper chest, before a controlled exhale that empties each section in reverse. This technique activates your parasympathetic nervous system, shifting your body from fight or flight to rest and restore. But there's something even more remarkable that happens when practiced consistently. Studies show this breathing pattern can increase alpha wave activity in the brain by up to 40%, enhancing focus and emotional regulation. This is why Master Shi begins every training session with 5 minutes of breath work. It creates the foundation for everything that follows. The second teaching focuses on rooted stability, the power of grounding yourself physically and mentally. A tree with deep roots fears no storm. A person with stable stance fears no challenge. Master Shi often begins students with standing in the horse stance for extended periods. But why such a seemingly simple position? The horse stance builds tremendous leg strength, yes, but what most don't realize is that it's simultaneously training something far more valuable. When held properly, this stance activates over 60% of the body's major muscle groups, but the real transformation happens in the mind. Master Shi reveals that at precisely the moment you want to give up, when your legs are shaking and your mind screams to stop, that's when the true training begins. This is where mental fortitude develops. The stance trains your body for minutes, but trains your will for a lifetime. The third teaching of Master Shi is perhaps his most challenging. Empty your cup. Knowledge only enters when arrogance leaves. Master Shi tells of students who arrive with 10 years of experience but remain unable to master even basic forms. Why? The problem isn't their physical ability, it's their attachment to what they think they know. True mastery begins with willingness to start fresh. But here's what most practitioners never discover. Emptying your cup isn't just about forgetting previous training, it's about something much deeper. It's about clearing your mind of expectations, judgments, and the constant internal chatter that prevents total presence. Studies show that this state of beginner's mind activates different neural pathways, allowing for accelerated learning and unexpected insights. As Master Shi says, the expert's mind sees few possibilities. The beginner's mind sees endless possibilities. Which will you choose? The fourth teaching reveals a counterintuitive truth. Soft overcomes hard. In combat, Master Shi teaches students to yield rather than oppose directly, to absorb and redirect energy rather than clash with it. But here's what most people miss about this principle. It extends far beyond martial applications. This principle can transform how you handle conflict, stress, and unexpected challenges in daily life. Instead of meeting resistance with more resistance, creating only friction and heat, you learn to flow around obstacles. The question Master Shi asks his students is profound. Are you being strong or merely rigid? Are you being flexible or merely weak? Most never learn to distinguish between these states. True power comes from knowing when to be unyielding and when to yield, a wisdom that applies to every aspect of life. The fifth teaching centers on the power of ritual. Master Shi begins each day with the same sequence of movements, regardless of weather, mood, or physical condition. But why such rigid adherence to routine? Most people approach practice with enthusiasm that quickly fades. They train when inspired, rest when tired, and wonder why progress comes so slowly. But there's something extraordinary happening in the brain during ritual practice that science has only recently begun to understand. Consistent ritual creates dedicated neural pathways that become ever more efficient. What requires conscious effort today becomes automatic tomorrow. What exhausts you now will energize you later. Master Sha doesn't just practice forms, he practices commitment itself. The ritual isn't just about the movement, it's about showing up unfailingly and honoring the process. The sixth teaching of Master Sha is unified intention, the alignment of mind, breath and movement. In Kung Fu training, Master Sha emphasizes that power comes not from muscular strength alone, but from perfect coordination of the entire body. But here's what few practitioners ever truly grasp. This principle extends far beyond physical movement. In everything you do, whether physical training, mental work or emotional processing, divided attention drastically reduces effectiveness. Studies show that multitasking can reduce productivity by up to 40%. Master Sha teaches students to channel all attention into a single point, creating what he calls whole-person power. This state of unified intention creates results that seem almost superhuman to observers. The question is, what could you accomplish if every fiber of your being moved in perfect harmony toward your goals? The seventh teaching addresses perhaps our greatest modern challenge: cultivate inner stillness. Master Sha requires all students to practice daily meditation, starting with just 5 minutes and gradually extending to 30 or more. But why is stillness so essential to mastery? In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with stimulation, notifications, news, noise. Our nervous systems remain perpetually activated. But something remarkable happens when we intentionally cultivate stillness. Research shows that regular meditation physically changes the brain, strengthening the prefrontal cortex while reducing activity in the amygdala, our fear center. But Master Sha's insight goes even deeper. True stillness isn't about absence of movement, but about finding the quiet center within movement. The most powerful techniques are performed from a place of inner calm. The eighth teaching is one that challenges modern comfort culture. Embrace productive discomfort. Master Sha regularly exposes students to controlled hardship, cold showers, pre-dawn training, extended periods of challenging postures. But why introduce such difficulty deliberately? Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. They create environments of perfect temperature, instant gratification, and minimal challenge. But here's what they're missing: biological growth, whether muscle development, immune function, or neuroplasticity, occurs precisely when systems are stressed and then allowed to recover. This principle, called hormesis, reveals why some discomfort is not just beneficial but necessary. Master Sha teaches students to distinguish between destructive pain and productive discomfort, a crucial distinction in both training and life. The ninth teaching reveals a little-known secret of mastery. Mind precedes action. Master Sha teaches that before any physical technique, you must first see it clearly in your mind's eye. This mental rehearsal activates many of the same neural pathways as physical practice. But here's what most people overlook about visualization. It's not just about seeing success. Effective visualization requires complete sensory immersion, feeling the movements, hearing the sounds, experiencing the emotions. Research shows that this type of detailed mental practice can improve physical performance by up to 35%. This principle extends beyond martial arts to any skill acquisition. The question is, are you training your mind to execute with precision, or are you reinforcing mediocrity through unfocused practice? The 10th teaching embraces fundamental duality. Seek balance of opposites. Master Sha teaches that true mastery doesn't come from maximizing individual qualities, but from harmonizing complementary pairs, hard and soft, fast and slow, effort and ease. Most practitioners make the critical mistake of overemphasizing their natural strengths while neglecting their weaknesses. But this creates imbalance that eventually limits progress. What separates elite performers from average ones? Studies show it's not just working harder, but working differently, specifically focusing on the least comfortable aspects of training. Master She's approach is counterintuitive. If you love dynamic movements, spend more time in static postures. If meditation comes easily, challenge yourself with explosive techniques. This balance creates not just physical harmony, but psychological wholeness. The 11th teaching speaks to our achievement-oriented culture, detached from outcomes. Master She observes that students who obsess over results, breaking the brick, winning the match, impressing others, paradoxically progress more slowly than those who immerse themselves in the process. This teaching confronts a deep contradiction in modern life. We're taught to focus on goals, metrics, and achievements. But what if this very focus is preventing our greatest work? Psychological research confirms that the state of flow, where time seems to disappear and performance peaks, occurs precisely when we're fully engaged in process rather than fixated on outcomes. Master She teaches students to set intentions, then release attachment to them, creating space for organic growth and unexpected breakthroughs. The final teaching embodies Master She's 35-year journey, Remain the eternal student. Despite decades of mastery, Master She begins each day with basic forms, the same movements taught to beginners. He approaches each practice with fresh eyes, discovering new depths in familiar territory. This teaching challenges our cultural obsession with expertise and status. The question is, have you fallen into the expert trap? True masters never stop being students. They maintain beginner's curiosity while applying advanced understanding, a rare and powerful combination. These 12 teachings from Master Shi Yanjun offer more than martial wisdom. They provide a framework for living with greater awareness, balance, and purpose. Which of these principles resonated most deeply with you? How might you apply them in your daily practice, whether that's martial arts, creative work, relationships, or personal growth? Remember Master She's words: knowledge becomes wisdom only through consistent practice. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Shaolin wisdom. If you found value in these teachings, please subscribe for more videos on ancient wisdom for modern life.